Welcome to the CBA of July 16th. The first order on the business, there is 3 Centennial Court. This is the one, if I believe, that they're asking for a continuance.
You have Attorney David Click, who's representing.
Thank you, David.
In the court. So, but he already sent in, as you saw, an email requesting the continuance to the August meeting, which is August 20th.
Okay, I think that sums up correctly, right, David?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Any board members have any concerns with that? No. Bob, did you watch the video of that yet? You need to though, because we're gonna need your vote when it comes to getting it there. We do have that rule that allows you to watch the video of the meeting. Make tonight short so you have time to watch it. It's a very, very short presentation, but we're gonna need to vote one way or the other.
All right, I'll be sure to watch it.
Okay, Bob, you want to give me a motion to continue this to August 20th?
Motion to continue the special permit variance for the Centennial Court, August 20th, 2025.
Second, all in favor, vote aye.
Bob Hughes, aye. Bob Butler, aye.
Bill Andrews, aye. Russell, aye. Okay, so it's unanimous. You got it, sir. You're all set. And see you in August.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board.
And can you tell your client that I heard from one of the neighbors that you had reached out to the neighbor to just kind of check what his concerns were and stuff. And I want to say thank you for doing that. And I want to encourage that dialogue to continue.
Of course.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Do we want to do Ridge Road first, just because the other one might be trickier? Okay, I'm going to change the order, but I think 67 Ridge Road will be the faster too, and we can have less people having to hang out for it. Oh, that was, you guys were Centennial Court?
Yeah, we didn't realize it was a continuance, so we'll be back.
Okay, hey, yeah, thank you very much for coming. Okay, who's here to represent 67 Ridge Road? You want to tell the board what you're trying to do?
Make a lot, so I could have build a house, my daughter and her daughter, her grandson, have a house to live in.
You're looking for a frontage variance,
Yes,
and how much are you short by?
I don't know, am I short?
Yeah, it's, I believe it was something like 75 feet of frontage, and that district, I'll bring up the plan in just a second. I believe in that district, the AR district, which is a minimum of 240.
It's
Here. Yeah,
It's extremely unusual for us to grant frontage variances. I've only known one of like 6 inches. 20, I don't know how many years I've been on this board.
It's up there on the map. But the engineer designed for it.
Have you thought, so with the change of the state law, and you could legally build a second building there under an ADU situation.
Yeah,
And that's a by right thing. So you would just go for a regular. Now, if I'm incorrect on anything in this, can you please correct me? So it would allow you to build a second building there or in addition to the current building. And it's by right. You don't even have to get a variance from us, but it would be part of the original property.
yeah, I know I can do that, but somehow my wife wants to do it this way, if we can.
Yeah, I don't make the decisions, these guys as a whole.
Okay,
What are you thinking? Yeah.
I know we can add on to one of the houses,
Or it can be a separate structure.
or I can do a separate structure
Yeah, either one.
of either one, yes, I know that.
Do you have plans for the house or anything? Because it's,
No, I don't have any plans for the house yet because I wanted to see if this would happen first. Then make plans for it.
Sorry.
It's hard to never do frontage.
House would be set back in because most of the front is wetland. Wouldn't be on the road, it'd be set back in.
For the record, while you're looking things over, we did receive a letter from an abutter today. It should be in your packet. Lena, who is that letter from?
Robert Jordan at 91 Ridge Road.
The person was seeking plans.
Yes.
Yeah, more details.
The hardest thing for me is frontage for, it's like, we can change a lot of things, but what worries me is when you have a frontage, that's a precedent setting event. We've worked very hard not to violate that precedent. Forward in the past.
Are there any, through the chair, the board might want to inquire, are there any unusual circumstances to the land that would warrant such a request?
Are there any unusual circumstances as to why you're requesting?
The gentleman mentioned,
Because it's easy to get a loan if you have a lot than if you just kind of build another house on a lot that already exists with a house. That's the reason.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that we're allowed to take into account. Money is not one of them.
Oh, okay.
But we can take into account things like geology. If you've got a massive amount of ledge in one spot, we're allowed to move things around because of that ledge.
Okay.
Topography, if you had a cliff, you might be able to jog things around because of a cliff. I'm going to lean on you. What's the other two? I'm just it was more than two. Topography,
Lot size and soil conditions, but all of those have to be things that are unique to your lot, that don't affect any other lots in the district.
Okay.
So it's a pretty hard standard to beat.
It is. Either Bob, do you have a question or discussion? I'm going to open it up to anyone who can afford to.
It is very unclear as to where this proposed house would be going. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get to it, is there wetland, much that the abutter brought up, kind of the same concerns. There's very little information to go by other than you need the 240 feet for the frontage and the variance on that.
not to cut you off, Bob, but just to draw the board's attention, everybody else's attention. It's a little hard to understand on this plan. There's a lot of lines, a lot of, but this light gray line,
Yeah.
that is going to be the new property line.
Yes, it is.
This,
That's gonna disappear.
I forget what you call this indicator, but this shows that lot line will be going away. And so
This
this,
will be going away because this will be part of that. This is just a stone wall. That's why there's a lot.
so this house right here would then be one lot, right? And it'll end
Yes.
at the stone wall. That'll become a new lot
Yes.
line.
Right.
So that'll be lot one, if we want to call it that. Then this will be a lot two,
Yeah.
and then a lot three with the frontage right here coming all the way back. You see that this lot line goes away, so that'll be new lot three. So it's two lots existing now. It would create three lots, one additional.
So you have two lots now, is one of them not buildable?
Yeah, there are two lots now.
And are they both
Three.
buildable are they both buildable lots?
Hmm.
You've got one house on one of them, right?
There's a house, there's two houses. There's a house on lot two and there's a house on lot one.
Bring up the current configuration.
My son lives in
One house and,
the one house, the long house, and the small house, my other son owns that.
Yeah, here we go. This is one lot,
The U shape, yeah.
89, and then 87, which is that longer lot. So those are the two lots existing. So they are two existing buildable lots because they have buildings on them.
Yeah, pre-existing non-conforming. Are there any neighbors that would like to make a comment on this? Because I always like to get the neighbors' comments, if that have been part of
I'm at
it.
69
Yep.
Ridge Road, so I'm the portion sort of sandwiched in between the two.
Yep.
Listen, it's your land, you do whatever you like with your land, right? But I bought that property because I'm surrounded by trees and woods and a stream and, I know that can go away and, everybody likes butterflies and flowers, but I would be very curious to see where there would be a house before anything gets approved, because that is probably going to change the dynamics.
The house would either be here or here, depending on when they do a perk test and where it will perk. But this is the highland here and the highland here, and this is wetland, the stream goes through here.
For myself personally, and I do not speak for the board, these guys have their own vote.
Yeah, I
Whether
know.
you follow the ADU rules.
You do whatever you wanna do.
It
I'm
would be
just-
completely legal, and we wouldn't make a precedent by allowing a shortage of frontage. It's like the one rule we have, we don't allow someone to change the frontage. And we have had, I can't tell you how many things like this. I remember that big one on South Street. That was a huge thing. We had, and he didn't need a huge amount. He only needed 30 or 40 feet or something.
Well, the two new houses that were built on Westboro Road on the left after North Street.
Yeah.
They both sharing the same frontage, which is what, 200 and something?
Not,
Because they're inside and then there's two houses,
yeah, we haven't ever gone on even on frontage. See, here's my concern.
No, but you got two lots in there and there's less than 300 feet for two houses.
There has to be Mike can probably pull it up, but there has to be the 240.
I'm sure there's a
It
reason.
doesn't look like it's over 240 for two houses.
Here's one of my concerns,
Okay.
and I'm trying to save you a lot of hassle.
Okay.
Even if we gave you a variance
Yeah.
for less than 240, if someone appealed that to court, we'd absolutely 100% lose.
Okay.
At least that's my understanding, is we would lose, and you'd probably lose a couple of years and a ton of money in that whole process.
Okay.
And I don't want you to have to go through that. I would rather you go through the new ADU law, which gives you permission to do it.
Okay.
And you wouldn't lose 2 years in construction waiting for a court case, and you wouldn't lose all that money waiting for it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It would, and it's by right, meaning that you absolutely 100% have the right to do it. You still have to go through conservation for things like wetlands. You can't build on top of the stream and things like that. But it is by right that allows you to build another building there. And if I'm wrong on anything, just please chime in.
No, that's right.
Do you agree? All right.
Question.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to understand what ADU
Oh.
you're talking about. Does this mean like a second home
Granny
using the
flat.
same access for 67 Ridge Road, but it doesn't have to be attached? Is that what you're saying?
It's, yeah, doesn't, it's,
State law was recently amended to allow accessory dwelling units as a right, in the way it's written. It does not have to be attached to the main structure.
Okay, so in other words, behind the house that's already existing at 67.
wherever he wanted to put it, provided it met the setbacks of the piece of property.
Okay,
That-
so my question there is, they own that whole, area except for the drop down. Okay, so my question is, where is the access if they put a house behind? I know I was told that the planned access this way would be to make a joint driveway, which that would require a planning board permit, am I right?
There is a process for joint driveways,
Right, okay.
but he could also do it from, he could bring in an access from somewhere else. The ADU lot tries to make it as easy as possible for someone to put in an ADU.
Okay. So I guess I'm a little bit confused then, because I don't see that this access, unless they use their own driveway to just drive back to the house and back.
They could put a new one in.
I don't believe there's room, is there?
Well, the proposed lot line would not be in the middle of it. And access can be right, and if I'm wrong on this, Mike, but access can be right down the fence line if they choose to. There's
Okay.
not a lot of restriction on where the access goes.
There's
Access
already
just needs to be through the frontage.
through the frontage at 67 is what you're saying. Okay, because there's already a driveway on each end of that, so they just use their own driveway that exists. So on either side of that, there is a driveway now that is for their home. So you're saying they can extend it into the back to put this unit?
The state gives a lot of freedom to people putting in ADUs,
And who oversees that, planning board? or-
building department for the agency.
Yeah, it's just, it is a building permit. The state made it so that towns could not require special permits, meaning you don't have to come to this board.
Yeah.
And notify the abutters, so that folks are notified of it and people can be heard. It's a by right use. So by right uses mean
Okay,
building permits.
so a neighbor on either side, and that's not me, just, I'm trying to get this in my head straight, a neighbor on either side that had concerns, which might be similar to the concerns they already have. They don't have a means of. no,
Stop you,
okay,
no.
Thank you.
Yeah, as long as what they're asking for is within our bylaws, they're not asking for any extra special relief for it.
Yeah.
And they're not looking for, anything over, I forget what's the
900.
square footage?
900.
900 square feet.
You still have to meet the setback requirements though.
Yep. All the same provisions for a single family home apply.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
I'm really confused. Why do we even have to worry of frontage if they can go and build a house?
This law from the state is brand new.
Yeah.
Just
A few months old.
So they can build their house.
So
They don't need frontage.
But an ADU has restrictions. It's, anybody can build an ADU by right. It's limited to 900 square feet. It's,
So if I could just clarify through the chair, the conversation we are having now is separate from what has been asked of the board, right?
You're right.
The conversation of the ADU is the basis of informing the applicant of his rights as a landowner and what he can do with his property. Other than, to your point, the frontage, because what the ask is for the board is to create a new lot. A new lot which would stand on its own, what is presented here would only have 75 feet of frontage, whereas the requirement in that district is 240. So he would like to create a brand new lot for another house.
Thank
What the board's telling him is, you don't necessarily need that if you use the ADU lot.
And then I just have one more, I'm completely ignorant when it comes to any of this. If anybody's gonna build anything, they have to have like the lot lines defined, correct? I mean, I don't think, only because I'm newest on the street and I don't have any idea where the lot lines are and there's some trees and I think that's where they are.
Yeah.
So I can certainly spend the money at 1,500 or 2,000 per line to have a surveyor, but if somebody's gonna be building, are they gonna be required to do a survey?
Through the chair, it's a case by case basis for the most part. I mean, if you're on 100 acres and you're looking to build one house,
Yeah.
yeah, the
the
answer.
building commissioner is not gonna care so much where every lot line exists in space exactly, right?
So it's on me.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
But it's funny because we have the one that we just passed over, Centennial Court. It's so small and tight down there that we literally don't know where the lot lines are.
Whereas
Yeah.
conversely, if you were building on a half acre site, yeah, the building commissioner is probably gonna require a survey of the entire property,
Right.
worst case, you get that information.
I feel like it just makes better neighbors to clarify before things happen and then, afterwards you're asking forgiveness and all that's too late.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Yes, ma'am.
So when this goes to code, they'll review the septic and the well, I assume?
Yeah, septic usually is Board of Health, but yes.
Yeah,
And it has to
but
meet
they
those.
have to do that before they can get a permit.
And it has to go to conservation too. They'll look at it because it's a street. It's the same building process. And the only restriction, there's a little less restriction because you're going onto an existing property.
Mhm.
But when the state made it by right, that literally means that your neighbors, if you're meeting all the requirements, your neighbors can't stop.
I get that, yeah.
But you could build one. You could.
Well, I don't, I mean, there are neighbors on the street that will be impacted. I'm not one of them. I have property there, but our house is down the road. So I'm just kind of curious about this. whole
I'm
process.
just the only reason I brought it up, I'm trying to save him a court
Yeah, I
case,
get that.
save him some money and tell him that
Yeah.
what an option is. I don't know what the board's gonna vote. I'm gonna before I go for a vote of the board, I don't know, if am I legally allowed to ask for like a survey?
Yeah.
Just how would you guys tend to vote? Because I'm gonna ask him to withdraw instead of.
Yeah, I would ask if they're gonna vote yes or no, just if you give an indication whether you think it's a decent application on its merits or not.
No.
Oh, excuse me.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Who is this?
My name is Mary Dumas, 63 Ridge Road. I live right beside 67.
Yep.
And I apologize, I signed on a little bit late, so this perhaps may have already been answered, but I have multiple questions. One is what you were just talking about, extending the driveway. As Ellen indicated, there is a driveway on the extreme of each side of the property. And each of those driveways, the one on the right is, I'm guessing, probably about 10 feet wide. And but both the one on the left is wider, I'd say like 2 car widths. But they're both jammed with about 10 vehicles at all times. So how would you plan to put in a driveway for another house in the rear? And, I want to say that as a homeowner, I'm deeply disturbed by this because what you just suggested, putting a house in the rear, and I know there's places that have done this, but the character of this street, zoning is minimum 2 acres per house. So we enjoy these beautiful large yards and, nicely landscaped. And, already the Paulson home is about 10 feet from the road. Each of the 2 driveways is, like I said, jammed with about 10 vehicles pretty much at all times.
Mary, did you hear our discussion about the new state law? Were you in on time to hear the discussion about the new state law?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear that.
Instead of going over this, I think you're probably gonna get what you want anyways, and you missed, and I would be absolutely willing to have that talk with you about what the new state law is, or Mike here is very, very patient and good about it. After getting the feeling of the board, I don't think you're gonna worry about it in a second. And Mr. Pawson, what I want to do is, if you get voted down by us, you can't come back to us for 2 years, no matter what your proposal is.
Right.
But if you withdraw it and you came up with a different proposal next week, you could come back to us. I would like to recommend to you that you withdraw it. So if you come up with a different proposal, you can come back to us. If you want, we.
But they were gonna vote no anyway, so.
What's that?
They were gonna vote no anyway, so I'll withdraw it.
Okay, so motion to accept the withdrawal.
Motion we accept the withdrawal. A second.
All in favor? Bill Andrews, aye.
Bob Otler, aye. Bob Humes, aye.
Okay, I actually thought that would be the quick and easy one tonight. If I were you, I would talk with Mike and talk with the building department about what is possible, because there are things that are possible. Okay,
So
thank you.
that application's been withdrawn from consideration from the board.
So Mary, you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
Sorry about the rest of you. I thought that was gonna be super quick and easy. Funny story for you later.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay, thank you. And thank you for coming, Mary. Okay, so the next one is a special permit continuance for 33 Milford Street. Mike, can you update us on what the building inspector found before we?
Yeah, so before I get to that, a couple clarifying points. So there was an initial notice of the hearing that went out prior to the last hearing. So folks had attended that, as we know. We did send out a second notice that was supposed to notify the people of this hearing. Unfortunately, it had a typo on it. It referenced the June meeting instead of this meeting. But that notice specifically was to notify people of the section 16 finding that this board has to make before you even consider this application, right? So as you're alluding to at the prior application, you were telling a gentleman that if he's denied, then he can't come back for 2 years. So with this application before you, there was an application last year sometime for which the applicant was denied. They have since returned with this application. So in order for this board to hear,
You have to say it's different.
I'm not going to say the same application, but an application of similar circumstances, you have to rule that it is different enough in not necessarily case law, but in the legal books that I have a reference on this matter. It says that the difference between the application can be aesthetic, essentially, and it's really up to the board as to what you're willing to accept as far as a repetitive application. I will say that the differences between that application and this application, the application that was before you last year was to request 30 feet.
Yeah.
And 3 stories, 30 feet and 3.5 stories, because it was a gabled roof, right?
Sure.
The application before you now is to comply with the 25-foot height maximum, but also to allow for 3 stories. So it's a difference of 3.5 and 30 versus 3 and 25. So if the board finds that to be acceptable, you can proceed with the application as it's been filed.
So the bar for being a different proposal is really set very low. So I'm thinking that we're going to be okay with hearing this application tonight.
Yeah, it seems as though the law is pretty clear that it's like, it just can't be the same exact application.
You want to give me a motion?
Yeah, I move that we find that this is sufficiently different to hear the new application.
Okay.
Second. Yes, maybe.
Yes.
Bill Ender's aye.
Very Russell.
Okay, so we can hear this. And thank you neighbors for coming, by the way. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there was,
You
you
wanna
wanted
start
to
off?
me to talk about the building commissioner's findings. So building commissioner went out to the site to meet with the contractors out there. He discovered that the existing height of the building is actually beyond the 25 feet.
27.
It used to see, yeah, I think it was 27. He also commented that it gets a little worse towards the back of the building. So I guess there's probably a grade difference as you go around back where it begins to exceed 27. So right there, that's an issue that needs to be resolved.
Yeah. The electrical one's not us problem. It's just some building department problem.
I'm sorry,
The electrical,
that is a building.
that's just the building.
Yeah, building.
Yeah, we won't add that to the.
That's not for this committee.
All right, sir, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let me give you an opportunity to speak first off before anybody else, because you're the builder here.
So, my name is Rod Rivera. I'm a designer and also a contractor for the property. So the original plans that we had when it was a gable, we were going back and forth. And it was told it was going to be, that area was going to be, it was allowed 40 feet for some reason. Then it was changed to 30. Then the board allowed it to be 25. When we started demoing the house, we have to scrape a little on the front side, all throughout the property. We have to scrape some of the dirt so we could have access to the sill and also the foundation in order to make it level. So what that did, that
is higher by 1.5 feet or so. And then when everything was level and you stopped framing, we wanted to protect the silt from rotting out because that's what happened to the original house. So you mentioned the commission, but I thought he was just an inspector, code enforcement. So when John.
Same hat, yeah.
Same hat, okay, I'm sorry. So John and I met, we made an appointment, and then I took my laser and we did measure it, and it was higher on the front side than what was supposed to do. But I was trying to explain that we couldn't go any higher on the dirt because of the silt, and he kind of understood that part, and he also agreed that you can't do it because it would rot out. So I guess today we're just asking for a variance towards that part because it's not, wasn't done intentionally. The framing is the same height. All the walls were ordered, all the 2x4s, I'm sorry, 2x6 was ordered to meet those framing. So it's basically, it's just the ground level that was lowered, only because we had to level that foundation.
But the request for variance though is to allow a third floor. It's not about that height.
Yeah, that was just the thing.
But that were, I
Yeah.
think, both.
If it's not published.
True.
Shit.
Well, and the issue being, and the reason why that is because the last application was really more specifically aimed at the linear foot, right? And then the reason why this application came about is because it was identified to me after the building permit was granted that third floors are actually not allowed in that district. Or I should say, they're not, they're allowed by special.
Allowed by special permit,
Which is
just,
why
and
it's
so
here.
is the additional height allowed by special.
Correct. I mean, to resolve that, to resolve the linear foot issue, we could start the process over.
Okay, the neighbors have come though, so I'd like to
Right.
get to the point where we listen to some of the neighbors. My concern is I think we're on my owner number 4 of this property in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. Not to get to owner 5, it's been a derelict property. I don't want it to go back to being a derelict property. Mr. Henderson, but
I said yes.
you guys have been great about coming in and expressing yourself. What thoughts, concerns, where do you think on this? I know you don't
My
want.
concern is, I mean, you ask for permission from the board, then you do it, right? Like Mr. Paulson could build his second house and then just come in and say, I built it accidentally, right? Oh, I made a mistake and it's exactly what I wanted, right? As opposed to,
That's the approach it's supposed to work. That is correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
and it seems like you asked them to clean the yard. They took all the trash and all the leaves and they blew it onto my yard. Well, that's not cleaning your yard, that's muddling mine, right? So trash has been everywhere. There's an oil tank in the backyard. Like the whole thing, soup to nuts, has been less than desirable. And this is just another layer on the cake.
Yeah, and I heard about the trash heap. Cleaning, keeping the job site clean and not making sure it doesn't get onto the neighbor's property is huge. You don't want to be a burden on the neighbors.
And all the recommendations you had made, all the recommendations you had made, having the lot lines of it wasn't done, right? So they blew all the trash, leaf blowers brought it up, all the leaves went back. Do I know exactly where it is? No, but I know it's under that leaf pile, right? I know it's under that trash, which is, it's a terrible start, or maybe a terrible finish, however this goes.
And the remediation would be a good thing, get that cleaned up. I don't know where we could, here's my concern, I'm more discussing the board here, is the 3-story thing. And Mike, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
By the way, from my understanding from the building inspector, it is plumbed up as a single family house. It is not plumbed up for anything more. So your neighbors will want to know that.
Yeah, it does look like a 3-family from the outside.
Yeah, it's
actually a single family. It's all open inside. It's right.
single family. And I knew you would want to know that because plumbing is what really tells you what it's going to be. And has been looked at.
And unlike the other districts in the town, this is in the UCBD district, which actually is not able to capitalize on that new ADU law.
Isn't that bizarre? Okay, I had a discussion with Mike about it at some point, and as long as it's not me between board members, I can do that. And he was telling me that if they didn't finish the upstairs floor, now, not counting the height issue, that wouldn't count as livable space for the floor. Or how are you
Yeah,
expecting?
I defer this to the building commissioner, and I know, Amy, I see that your hand is raised on nothing, so I'll get to your comment. I would defer to the building commissioner on this and what the definition of a story is. It's my understanding through talking with John, our building commissioner, and him through other building commissioners about this issue, which is a story is a livable space, right? And a half a story is half livable space. That is what defines a story. That's my understanding.
So the reason I bring that up is I want the damn thing done and not being a headache for you guys. I don't, it's murky waters here. We're in gray waters, and I don't like being put in murky territory. But literally, if you came in and dumped 4 dump trucks of dirt in the front yard, which would not be good for the sills and the foundation, that would solve the 2.5 foot. It wouldn't make it look better. It wouldn't make it a better structure, but it would solve that problem. By not finishing upstairs, it would solve the story problem. But you know damn well you come back, 2 years later, it would be done. And if you're gonna do it once, do it right. I don't make the decision. I'm just telling you that there's workarounds that you can do that wouldn't change the actual structure as it currently exists. Does that make sense?
He would still, yes, through the chair. There are workarounds, I'm sure, to maintain the structure in theory as it exists today and be in compliance. The issue we find ourselves in today, unfortunately, is also the linear height.
Yeah. Because they haven't put dump trucks around there. But we're not, that's not really, can't be on the table for tonight.
No, so I guess.
But the number of story one we can discuss tonight.
Yeah, to drive the point home, you could conceivably vote on the stories as a special permit tonight. And we could deal with the linear footage another night through another application. Or
I'd like to make some
commissioner.
progress forward. To drag you guys out.
It's taking us, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, it's taking us a long time to finish this product only because of the lady that owns the building itself. She has a company, a cleaning company, and sometimes by the time she gets her money together and all the finances together, it can't speed up. Then we had an issue with the electrician and stuff like that. But sometimes the project manager has to put in his own money to get like the oil tank removed because the fire department called us and then he gave us an idea what to do. So we're calling a few people local. We finally got somebody. The trash issue, the framers, they did clean up every day because I use them in my other projects, so I know that they clean up. But if there was trash left over, it's because the dumpster company would not pick it up right away. We have to wait a week or some time.
The thing is just, it sounds stupid. Clean up your job site and make sure, and ask if your neighbor give permission, send guys out with rakes and get, 20 feet around your job site. Having a neighbor come in who's unhappy, legitimately so, doesn't help you.
I understand.
Because you could get turned down on everything.
No, and I
And I know that this is one that's, it's on the edge in terms of finances. This is a tough build site. We're on owner number, I think, 4. I want the house to not be a job site and not to be a derelict structure. At least I think what's there is safer than what's been there for the last 20 years. But anyways.
Mr. Chair, do you want, Amy has been very patient.
Yes, thank you. Yes, who is this?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Hi, it's Amy Bonina. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Amy. Thank you for being patient.
Yeah, of course. No, so I was in the building department and I miss you all. But my question is, and I had emailed with Mike and Helene a little bit yesterday. I don't know how this was ever even permitted. I was told it was permitted in error. So they shouldn't have ever been able to proceed with the build. And I think it looks obviously better than what it was. However, you're creating a precedent for the entire town to have 3-level structures, and it's not what, when you drive into Upton, I just think it changes the entire town. This is the first, and I'm sure will not be the last if this is approved.
Yeah, this particular district, Amy, I think under special permit can be 5 stories tall.
Yes.
It's just this downtown area that could theoretically be that. This is just the first structure within that district.
Yeah, it is. It's the last property in the district, yeah.
Yeah, so it's literally the first one that's looking at the new district where the town has said we want bigger or will allow bigger stuff by special permit.
It's a mixed use zoning district. It's the
Yes.
Upton Center Business District.
So yeah, I understand that. But again, the permit should never have even been approved. They shouldn't have even been able to proceed when they have proceeded without a valid electrical permit. They've only had a rough plumbing permit. I'm going to assume that all the plumbing is done. So I just don't know how it got this far without
Yeah,
inspections.
Yeah, they're definitely, I share the same concern on the original permit. I think that's why this meeting was originally scheduled, was to get that cleaned up. Guys, I'm not the board. You guys are. What are your thoughts, Bob and Eric?
I just second what they were.
Okay, sorry, I didn't realize I didn't ask. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Adam Silent over now, but a butter, I guess. So I just second kind of what they said, that I was here a year ago when the special permit was initially applied, and then all of a sudden the thing's just done. And so like, it just seemed like it was out of step. I didn't realize that the permit was already approved in error, I guess, but it seemed like a little out of step to me. And so I was here mostly to get clarity on how that proceeded that way. And then I would just echo the 3 stories. I guess if it's, we can go up to 5 by special permit, but there's a permit process for a reason. But 3 stories does feel like it's a little out of place in the neighborhood, and it disrupts the character of it. So
It is the first structure in the new.
Through the chair, I can comment just to timeline. Last year, when you were here, the application was for 30 feet high and 3.5 stories. The board at that time, the opinion of the board, they were ultimately issued a denial of that. But it was the opinion of the board at that time, if I can summarize it, was the board took no issue with the stories. The conversation was very structured around the linear feet, which has been the point of contention of tonight, and differentiating between those application processes of the linear feet and the stories. At that time, the board took no issue with the stories. In my view, it was your view that 3 stories is fine, so long as it complies with the 25-foot height limit.
And we were clear about that.
Yeah. And so the applicant, taking that information, then proceeded with the building permit with, okay, well, I'll intend to do the 25 feet. And instead of doing the 1/2 story, which will add more height, I'll just do a flat roof to bring the height down and address those concerns, I'm sure. So then when we got to the building permit stage, the building commissioner at the time, with the information from the zoning board with the denial, looking at the zoning criteria for that district, saw a 25-foot height proposal and a 25-foot height restriction in the district, and then made a mistake, didn't realize when he made when he went to approve it that, oh, it's actually and 3 stories. So what's frustrating about that, and for you all, is 25 feet does not translate to 2 stories. 25 feet translates to 2.5 stories, as with typical builds. That is something that I have, amongst other things, gone through in our zoning bylaw and highlighted to our consultant who's been working on updating our bylaws on that, because that shouldn't be. Anyway, that's sort of besides the point. Building commissioner made an error, issued the building permit with noting 3 stories. So even though it was an error by the building commissioner to issue that, he still had a valid building permit to continue because it was issued. And then it was brought to my attention, probably shortly after the 3rd story was going up, that was happening. And so I reached out to Rod specifically and said, hey, looks like you were issued this in error. You really should come back to the board and make it right. Because even if the code department took no action on an error that was made by a former building commissioner, and he was allowed to build and it was completed and then it's there today, as we now know from other cases that have been before this board, it doesn't matter how much time has passed.
Yeah.
If a zoning violation exists, somebody can challenge that and bring it before the board.
Right.
So I reached out to them. I don't have any enforcement power through my position, but said to Rod, hey, this really should be addressed now.
Get the paperwork right.
Yeah. So although, anyway, that's where I'll leave it. That's why, that's a lot of words to describe what happened, but that's what's happened between then and now.
And the discussion, because I know we took what you, with Addison had said that it was the height issue, not the number of floors. They didn't particularly like 3, but as long as they kept it under the 25, it was okay. And we that's why we denied the 30. Truthfully, I was okay with it. The other guys put me down and say, I'm not the board. I don't make the opinion. It's a special permit place to do the 30 or even the 5 stories. But that's why these guys are here. They keep me in check. So the only thing we can deal with tonight is 3 stories. We can't deal with the 27 feet. I honestly don't want you to just bury them. Having replaced many sills, I don't think it's a particularly good thing to bury them. But honestly, it wouldn't be a workaround. Do you guys, Bob and Eric, put you on the hot spot. Any thoughts that you guys want to throw in here?
Yeah, it does need 4 votes. Amy, were you done, or is your hand just still up from last time?
I don't know why it's up because it's not highlighted, but no, I have no other questions and thank you for clarifying. But again, the whole house has been built with not an electrical permit or a plumbing inspection. So I just find it.
Helena, they've received inspections along the way, correct?
Yeah, the only inspection they have received is the electrical, because obviously we had the issue with the license. There is a new permit in the system, which also has an issue with the license. So I don't know if you have contacted the electrician, but still does not have an electrical permit issued, and the electrical was roughed.
He applied to get the electric with another person. I got the application number.
It hasn't been issued because his license expires.
No, that did not another person.
A third one?
That,
Okay, okay, we'll talk about it after that.
Yeah, there's just nothing approved in the system for electrical.
Oh, where are our new members?
I don't know. I emailed Gabriel.
Because we was going to get the meeting alternates.
And David is in England, I believe, right now. So he was always going to miss his first
The
meeting.
other gentleman was supposed to be here.
Oh, Michael was feeling ill, so
Yeah.
Michael couldn't join us.
But we should have had one more alternate.
Yeah,
He said we could call him.
right.
But
I'll
Michael,
be the alternate.
well, Amy, I kind of encourage you to be that person.
Yeah, Amy, you
by
had
the
plenty
way.
of time to put in your application.
I might have
Oh,
specifically
get
asked
ready.
you. Oh, now she's gonna
Oh,
have to
I'm
go.
I'm going off to college. So I'll have all the time in the world.
There you go. Well, but I want to encourage you, especially with all your knowledge. You'd be fantastic. Anyways,
You have to apply.
all right, Bob and Bob, I'm gonna put you guys on the hot spot. What are you thinking?
We got the flat roof, so that was one of the requests. We got, in the zoning area, it could be 5 stories, which is not, so that's good. I do agree that the mess needs to be cleaned up, and whatever the neighbors are requesting to be happy should be done, should be part of any project. And it's already built, so what are we gonna say?
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna have you tear it down, that wouldn't make any sense, so what are options? Other than
I mean, not to be soulless, but that is an option for the board. I mean, you know what I mean?
I know, but this is the workarounds.
I know,
mean,
I don't,
It could still exist there.
I just didn't want it to appear as though that's a foregone
No, it's
conclusion
not.
that it should stay. You know what I mean?
There's
The-
no precedent.
Yeah, the board
No.
board does have the power. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we do have.
The board does have the power.
I do. Would like that. Be inappropriate for the board members to go down there and look at this.
No, not at all.
Because, Mr. Henderson, if you wouldn't mind, at some point, I'd like to go down there.
Yeah, you can access my property whenever you want.
Okay, because I just want to see how bad it is. I've seen it from the front, but I'm not comfortable hearing the job site didn't get cleaned up the way it should have.
I can give you my number.
Thank you, because I'd rather coordinate that with you and you also with you, Ron. Everybody gets a chance with me. You always get to speak.
The board has until September 16th to make a decision on this. Unfortunately, that day is just before your September meeting. But you do to have through August to make a decision on this, should you choose to take that time.
I'm gonna get things done. Sick of this job going on. You can take care of. Mr. Bob, the other Bob. No, we're gonna say that, I'm not gonna say small Bob, big Bob, whatever. It's
Okay. I know the big one. I think we should continue till you can look better.
Okay, go down doing the site
Go
inspection.
down to the sites. I mean, you can, I'm wrestling, you can say yes, 3 floors.
Yeah.
The height is still going to be the overall issue. You could say
Yeah.
they could do 5 floors, but the height is still going to be the issue.
It could be that you recommend to the applicant that they work out that height issue with the building commissioner.
Yeah, we can do that.
And that might come in the form of bringing in some fill to make up for that gap. I don't know if that's acceptable to the building commissioner.
What also might be acceptable, and this is gonna sound stupid, but vegetation, putting a very high shield of shrubbery across the front that completely hides a big chunk of it might be acceptable to the neighbors too, where it kind of brings the mass down because you put in a whole row of shrubs. Does that make sense too?
Yeah, arborvitae would go nice.
Exactly, and you can kind of tuck it away and hide it, because it's so close to the road, everybody sees it right off. But if you put in a row of an arborvitae or some sort of planting in there that grows.
So does the board want to, do you want to consider going through some conditions tonight? Or do you want to seriously consider going and visiting the property first before deciding?
I'm okay with both. I mean, it's just right over there, you practically can walk over there, but I don't think you can adjourn a meeting to go walk over. The other thing, guys.
We can recess.
Recess, could be recessing.
We do anything now.
The only thing is, we've got to absolutely follow the open meeting laws. Like, we could not discuss it amongst ourselves over there.
You could go individually, or
That would
you
be
would have to post a meeting.
Right,
in
the
order to-
safest thing would be to go individually, take a look at it. I think that's a prudent thing. He can continue working on it, right, for the next month.
Yeah.
I wouldn't invest a ton of money in the top there, but there's so much other stuff you probably have to do anyways.
Yeah, so the electrician that's originally started, the new electrician that's gonna come in.
Yeah.
He's gonna check all the wires, but we have fire blocking around the stairs, another stair, wells has to be fire blocked, so it's a lot of.
Little stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, if a month goes by then that money that she has allocated for this project is going towards a mortgage. So now we're short $5,000 or whatever the mortgage is. Now we have to wait till, so it's because we originally, we didn't think it was gonna have to tear down the whole house. We thought we were just gonna remodel, but then when we started discovering things and we saw the plans from the
Right,
original.
it was a
project,
tear down.
Yeah, so
It was tear down. I could tell that by driving by.
Right.
We also, again, do not have an electrical permit. So
So there's not gonna be any.
continuing the work, we've been waiting 2 months for another electrical permit, another license. So it's not like
It's not gonna
we've
kill.
gotten everything really quickly and we just haven't responded.
Right.
We've been waiting on information and we've been
You've been
waiting
waiting for
on,
that.
yeah.
All right,
I mean, yeah.
guys, how do you feel about, I always like to listen to board members, he's got valid concern. How would you feel about if we continue to August? We made site visits on our own time, because I don't want to get into open meeting law trouble. And we all come up with what conditions that would make this more palatable. Mr. Henderson, I'd like to, meet with you too. I think the planting idea would be a good thing to do. And actually, I don't know, I'm assuming Mrs. Henderson, I didn't get your first name.
I'm sorry, yes, I'm Amy Henderson.
Amy, thank you. Because I don't want to be sexist, it's just not me. And, you don't just look at the guy. But I just happen to know he looks so much like his family that I can know his last name really easily. So Amy, whether it be with meeting with you or with your husband and Ron also with you, I would like to.
She brings up a good point, actually. We still don't have the exact property line where those plantings would go.
That's
That was
something
one of your- Excuse me, that was one of your recommendations. Maybe we could split that
Survey.
cost with them or something like
Yeah, the
that.
lots need,
That would-
the
that would
survey
be-
needs to be.
That was one of your
Several
recommendations.
It's one of the conditions too, and it's a good thing. Good fences make good neighbors, if you remember that old time quote. And that could also be one of the conditions. Rod, we're trying to get you to help move forward on, these missteps are what's slowing it down. And try to not make any more missteps. I would strongly recommend, for myself, I'm gonna postpone my visit for about a week. And I hope by the time I get down there, there's no oil tank in the backyard. And there's no-
It was removed.
So just make sure things are, we'll give you a week before I do a snap inspection. I'm not a jerk about it, give me some time. But we'll, each of the board members, if I can ask you to visit that. Okay, are you happy with that, Mike? Is there anything else we could?
No, I think that's reasonable to take a site visit and then to come up with conditions that you think might be acceptable.
Okay, and for everyone that, as you think of conditions, can we send those to Mike? Or to you, either one?
Yeah.
Because you both can get this.
And then would it be helpful to have the building commissioner at the next meeting as well to address some of the specific
Yeah, I forgot
heights,
to,
floors?
Lily escaped me to invite him
Grading.
for tonight. That
I
would be
know.
helpful. Thank
I
you.
know.
Yeah. If John's available.
Okay,
If he's available.
okay.
I do want to compliment him. I needed a quick inspection, like just for his opinion on something. He showed up within 10 minutes.
He's great like that. He's
So
great.
I want to throw him a compliment for doing that. All right. So how about, who would like to make this motion? Who hasn't made a motion tonight? Eric, you have made a motion?
It'd be a motion to continue.
Yeah, just a motion to continue. All right. That we continue the hearing on the application for special permit at 33 Milford Street until it's August 20th. August 20th.
I'll second the motion. Okay, all in favor, vote aye.
Bob was that, right.
Bill Andrews, aye. Eric Russell, aye. Eric Russell. Thank you, guys.
I want to say something before. I leave. So the schedule for August 20th. I have some property in Florida.
Yep.
That on the 1st of August, if things doesn't change, I have to travel back to Florida.
Yep.
And deal with some issues that we have there. I may be able to come back, but if not, I will have to reach out the first week to Michael and move it to another day. Is that okay?
You can also have, yes, you can also have the owner show up.
That's the problem. She doesn't know the terminology, so how she answers questions.
He could call in.
You can also call in, but
Does he call in through Teams?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely, that works to save yourself the airfare, but having her show up actually,
Just having, I agree with the board. It'd be good to just have her present,
Yes.
whether or not it's on Teams or in person.
So I believe
Obviously-
Nelson Upper is her ears and eyes, so whatever he says goes, basically, so.
we just, let's get this cleaned up, figure out what we can do to remediate the issues that we have.
If we need to extend beyond August, just email me and we'll figure it out.
I will know for sure at the end of this month.
Okay,
If I have to travel, if I don't have to travel and I have to move things around, then I will.
just bring your computer and zoom
Yeah,
in.
you can do
It's
it.
completely okay to zoom in.
When are we planning to meet, or are you guys gonna let me know when we're gonna meet at the property?
I'll just come down whenever I see a work truck there, unless you want to give a specific time.
I believe that the owners of the other property wants to be there too.
Okay, let me pull up my phone.
Where they're, I'm on summer vacation.
Yeah, I would like.
Yes, she's,
I would teach
yeah.
her Maryland. She's home.
Like,
Someday.
I would like to be there when you do, but if not, if our schedules don't work out, you're welcome to look from wherever vantage point you want.
Make it easier just to coordinate everybody. We can just, I mean, we don't have to post a meeting as long as we don't discuss.
Correct. All right, it's on my calendar. You're gonna try to get Bob? Really? Yeah.
Looks like they'd be there virtually, right?
This is like, a Yeti sighting, that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, actually, if you coordinate, I'll just post an agenda.
Absolutely. Let me grab that.
Oh, yes.
You got it, sign it sheet? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind writing it next to there. And then
Sure. Bob, is there any night that's better for you?
and maybe your.
I know you're as good as possible.
You could write it on the- it wouldn't have to be.
How about you, Bob?
Depends on what you do it.
I would think that after your work, not,
Yeah, work isn't a problem.
I'm retired. He
Exactly.
works 1,000,000 hours too.
Right, so the working people.
Not after next Tuesday.
So 23rd is the first time.
Next week,
Next week is off. We completely.
and the week after that's out for me. I'm up in Maine, and my wife will kill me if I'm not there.
Do something August 4th, or 7th, on that day.
I'm in Canada.
There you go. You know what, that's fine. Guys, let's just go individual. All right. Look for work.
Well, we meet at 6 o'clock on August 20th and then
Yeah.
come over here from there.
Yeah, well,
There's an option.
If it's enough, I just want to make sure it gets enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's, well, we could, yeah, I was gonna say, we could always send John over there in a week as well to check. Because he went over there last week, we can send him over again. In the meanwhile, if that's the only option to have you guys there on the 20th.
I'm gonna try to get there. What are your normal hours over there?
I'm pretty flexible.
You're pretty flexible. Because I can get there next week. Other than Wednesday, and Friday, pretty much any day. And I'm retired, so my schedule's very open.
Sure.
What color, what's your truck? I'll just look for your truck there.
I have a white Jaguar.
White Jaguar. Okay.
That's not a truck.
That will be very easy to spot. Okay. And Amy and I will get
I have their contact
Get their
information.
number. Okay, if you can pop that out to us.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
just
Brett.
wanted to clear it. So I'm not there every day all the time. I'm only there as needed. So if you
Yeah.
tell me I'll be there Wednesday, I'll make sure that I'm there Wednesday. Tell me Thursday, then whatever day I'm.
It kind of seems like work is at a standstill right now, is that correct?
Yeah, we have to stop. I mean,
They don't have the
we didn't,
funds
we
to
didn't have a
work
stop
right
work
now.
order, but because of the electrician, we haven't done anything.
Yes, they can't do anything. And just the electrical permit, they were charged double the fee for starting the work without a permit issued. So just so you know, like all of the proper channels have
Yeah. You got-
happened until we have that permit.
It's just funny because I just built something and I tried to be so meticulous about making
Yes.
sure I followed every bloody rule.
Yes.
And it made things go through the department wonderfully well. Just was a lot smoother.
And as he said, John is extremely responsive. I mean, if you said, meet me there in 10 minutes, he'd be there in 10 minutes. He tries to make,
Couple of times I would reach out.
he's tried to make things as easy as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give the guys a week to clean up. And then I'd rather go, I mean, we could go tomorrow, but that would be kind of cool.
What if I send John out there to take pictures?
Yeah, I'm still gonna stop by.
No, but it's like.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
If
fine.
we could get photos and if our building commissioner could reach out to you as well, or maybe come in your yard and take some photos.
Yeah,
Okay.
anytime.
Just until these guys can kind of coordinate their schedules.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got a motion to continue. We'll see you in August. Hopefully we'll see you two before that time. So,
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah. All right, I believe we owe somebody some minutes. Thank you guys for coming. And let's investigate hedges. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, these are, oh, yeah, let me see this because,
I forget what the months are.
yeah, it's been submitted. It has not been approved.
No, it's like,
Because the electrician's license expires. No, it's not.
Huh?
No, it's not. The new electrician's license expires on 7/31/25. And we cannot issue the permit because the job is obviously going to go fast. That's 7/31/25. And even when I search it on the website, when I search it on the licensing website, it shows it expires on 7/31/25. So that needs to be done. We need a certificate of liability insurance and we need a workers' comp. It's filled out. Okay, as soon as you can possibly get that information.
no, these are old ones from last year. It was the ones that Amy did.
Yeah, these are pre-Helena, hence the.
This is insanity, trying to get every word.
Yeah, mine are 1.5 pages. These are something.
And we're taping all these things, so why not, why? can't
Yeah,
this-
well, that's what it looks like. It actually looks like a transcript.
Yeah.
You know, more so than just a summary. So that's why I sent them to you earlier, so you guys would have had a chance to review them, and now you just need to formally approve them.
So.
May, June, July.
May, June, July.
Can we do one
And
blanket?
then I have August behind it.
May, June,
I
July.
mean, no.
We can't have August.
Last month,
June.
June, sorry.
May, June, July, and August. No, May, June, July.
May, June, July of
Yeah,
2020.
2024,
And then,
and then June of 2025.
We haven't seen each other for 6 months.
Yeah, and we posted the ones that I've done since I've been here. These are the ones that were before I started.
Sorry.
Yes.
All right, I need motions. Whenever anybody's wanting to take one.
Can we do these all as one?
We do one as one.
I'm happy to do that. We're very efficient.
Approved all as one.
Eric, you make that
All right.
motion.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes.
May, June, July 2024.
24, June 20th, 2024, July, what's the date?
It doesn't have it on there, I don't know why.
July 2024, and June 18th, 2025.
Is that all?
I second.
yes.
Bob, second. Bob Humes,
What I, that's about right.
Billy Guy.
Eric Russell, aye.
Okay, all right.
So now you have the minutes from June of 2025 that are also behind there.
I thought we just did that.
Oh, that was all.
That was all in big.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
All right, any other homework assignments for us, teacher? Yes, right.
You guys got me beat tonight. I don't know what's going on. All right, so I will have John go to the site, take pictures, send them to you guys, and I will send you the contact information for Henderson.
Can we find our missing members?
Yes, well, I'll track down Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Like I said, I emailed him at the beginning of the meeting, just saying, hey,
Like, hello?
We're really nice people.
motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn meeting. Was I?
No, you got a second first.
Second.
All right, Bob Humes. Say aye.
My other eye.
Bill Andrews, aye.
Eric Russell, aye.
Okay.